So the number of people you can serve, and also the numbers around the business as far as being able to help the recently incarcerated. So um how many are you able to serve through one location, and then with expanding, what's the number you're looking to serve?
You talking about like in hiring?
Yeah,
So we can hire, because the goal was to have this as a landing spot for a lot of people coming home. And we chose and we knew how important it was to actually pay them a fair, equitable rate. So in Philly, I think they say you can live off of like 7.75 an hour. So we figured let's double that. So because I think that number is false. So we want to actually, have them at a number that they actually can survive, in Philadelphia on. So we chose to make sure we pay them, a fair, equitable rate, which is double what the city said, they can live off of. So this was ideally going to be a landing spot for them, so, we partner with other, restaurants and establishments to after, once they work with us, that they can go on to bigger and better things. I think that's the overarching goal for us and them, is to be able to, get some of this experience and then, branch off and do better things. Even with the living headquarters, we want them to, we offer the spot 6 months free of charge, for them, so they be able to save their money and then save for, somewhere else, maybe a better, spot for them to live at. So I feel like all of those things are important to be able to kind of have them come through. And it's not a program. So these apartments that they're staying in are their houses. There's no programs, no rules. Because I also want to get out of the idea of that institutional mindset that you're coming from one program to another. So it's like when they live there, that's on, that's their spot. So having that cushion to be able to, get their feet wet out here and have, establish, save some money and things like that, I feel like it's key for them to move on and do bigger and better things.
no, that's love, man. That's ultimate. That's the ultimate love, man. Like to give them, empower them, not to restrict them. You know what I mean? With the craziness that's going on in the world, to come from a situation where you don't feel like you have any power, to feel empowered. And you know what I mean? And then giving a hand up, not a handout. Like I appreciate that, man. I really, really appreciate what you're
Yeah,
doing.
and that's important to speak about that part, how you tied in, like, the homelessness, right? And how you are attacking that as well, by using, this is another great example of how with real estate, right, you can actually make impact and not just income, because you're taking that space and you use that space as a way to, so you're working on, first of all, just the jobs, right, which is a huge problem for that population, as well as giving them somewhere to stay. You're taking care of two things, right? So I think that's important to talk about. Man, that's an amazing concept. How long did it take you to come up with this concept? Like, what kind of things were you throwing in the air before you said, man, this could actually work? Like, how
I
do
mean,
you
because I was figure what I was going to do with the apartments above. So it's like it makes sense to kind of have, all in one, as opposed to just renting it out to, people, just random people. I figure out how can we tie it into the actual business model. And that's kind of what I came up with, in regards to that. So it can be, a situation where they have their own spot, because coming home or just being, having a record, it bars you from even being able to live in, a lot of places within the city, regardless of how much money you're making. So to be able to actually work somewhere and live somewhere where that, is welcome, like, you having, a record, being adversely affected by the criminal justice system is not looked at as, something bad. It's looked at, something that we understand, that you're not defined by a gross mistake, and we willing, we all about second chances.